Okay, peace to everybody out here in the listening audience. I have my brother Taalik Ibn'rad on the panel today, and we are going to discuss this question that has been debated, for thousands of years. Is there a such thing as a God? When you die, when you transition to what is known to us as being the afterlife, like what happens? What happens to your body? Is there a way to separate the soul from the flesh? So, we're going to be speaking on God. This concept. A lot of people, they call God Allah. We have brothers who call God Jesus Christ. Whatever God that you support and that you believe in, we're going to ask this question: is there a such thing as a God? Now, I'm sure nobody out here that is able to speak today, man, has ever met their maker. But we're just going to discuss this. So let me bring my brother Taalik. Okay. Brother Taalik.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What do you, like when somebody asks you the question, is there such thing as God? What does God mean to you? What does the term God mean to you? Let's begin there.
Well, actually, to my knowledge, God is nothing but a title. It's not an actual person. It's just like a police officer. That's just a title. A judge, that's title. But then you have to add a name. Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, Judge, it's a person. Now, that person Judy, that person Mathis has this title. So God is nothing but a title. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who is this person that has this title? Because there's nothing but a title. And the title, to my knowledge, God's supposed to represent that which simply has force and power. No more, no less. That's all a God is. That which has force and power. Somebody that has a title. When you just say God, you're just saying the title. Who or what are you talking about? So there are just some people that just use God in general terms. Okay, so but who are you talking about? You talking about a person? You talking about a thing? They say God is some say God is a man, some say God is a spirit, or whatever. God is supernatural. What
are your beliefs? Is there a God?
Is there a God?
Yes, sir.
No, there's no God. No. God as a title, yes, that exists. Anything that has force and power, like your cigarettes, that can be a God that has force and power over you. You get a habit, you are, God, that cigarette become your God, your crack cocaine, your liquor, your penis or your vagina, anything that you submit to that allow to have power and dominion over you, that's your God. So God, as far as the title is concerned, yeah, that exists. But this supernatural being or some supreme creator of the universe, that has not been proven. That has not been shown.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Christianity, the book of Genesis, the creation? When we look at the book of Genesis in the Bible, when we talk about, woman came from the rib of Adam, God created the earth, heaven, and the stars. God is the creator of all living, breathing things. I'm just trying to just wonder.
Go ahead. Who are you talking about? You trying to make a claim. You trying to talk about some supreme being that you never met. Who are you talking about? That's you saying that this God created the heavens and the earth and made a woman from a rib and whatever. There's no evidence to these things. This is why it's called belief. Belief does not require logic, does not require common sense or reasoning, does not require research or evidence. That's why it's called belief. Belief does not require these things. So you can believe, I mean, if you want to believe you Mickey Mouse, believe that. You don't have to prove that you Mickey Mouse, because that's just a belief. That's the reason why only you can see it, because it's not real. We don't have to believe in a car. We know that the cars are there. Step out on the wrong part of the road, you're gonna find out that that car was there. This God, you can't, it does not, you cannot prove that it's there. It's only in your mind, because that's your belief.
Should we pray? Should we pray? You know how like black people, you know, I'm just talking about black people today. Like when we, you know, have a meal, you know, we pray that, you know, God forgives us of our sin. Thank you, God, for this meal that you're about to prepare. Like, what are your thoughts and opinions on that mindset? Like, who are we praying to?
Again, it goes back to belief. What are you praying to? It reminds me, and we laugh. Now, mind you, we laugh. We laugh at children with their imaginary friends. But see, as far as that child is concerned, this is my friend, so-and-so, and you look at the child and their imaginary invisible friend, you like, you know, it's funny to you, you know, a child and their invisible friend. There's a mental illness, I forgot what it's called, but I saw Oprah Winfrey interview this little Caucasian girl, and all her friends was invisible. And she had like 6 or 7 of them. And they were animals. They could talk, they act like human beings, but they was animals. But this little girl, as far as she was concerned, all of them was real. And Oprah tried to interview this little girl, and there's nothing to see. But the little girl, in her mind, all these little animal creatures, or whatever it is, these are her friends, they're invisible. She sees them clear as day. And this little girl has some kind of, you know, illness, mental instability, some type of problem. Now, we laugh at that and we giggle at that, you know, the little girl and her invisible friends. But how can you do that when there's millions of people who think just like her? They talk about God. The same thing with God, your invisible friend. You pray to, she goes out to dinner with her little invisible friend. You do the same thing. You can feel your God. God talk to you, and you talk about what the God does and blah, blah, your invisible friend. So what's the difference between that little girl and these religious folks that believe in the supernatural and their imaginary friend that they do everything, that does everything for them? What's the difference between the little girl? The difference between the little girl and them is that there are thousands and millions who believe in that manner. Now, if there were thousands and millions of people who believe like this little girl, she would not be considered having a mental problem, because other people see these invisible animals, or they experience these invisible animals just like the little girl did. But since she's the only one that experienced these invisible animals, she has a mental problem. But if you can get thousands of others to believe like you do, then then according to psychiatry, now mind you, back in the day, psychiatry did call religious beliefs a mental illness. They did. They call homosexuality a mental illness. But of course, as you know, you live in a society that's dominated by people who believe in these invisible deities, and you have people who are homosexuals. So they use their influence, and these things was taken out of what they call the diagnostic symptoms manual. And even Dr. Umar Johnson would tell you about that. These things was taken out of the diagnostic symptoms manual. Look, if an illness is an illness, you can't take chicken pox out of the regular medical dictionary. You cannot take cancer out because somebody don't like it. It is what it is. But these people use their influence over, psychiatry, and they take that's out, you know, believing in these invisible gods, that's not a mental illness no more. And this homosexuality behavior, that's not a mental illness before, because these people mad and upset. Don't call what I believe in a mental illness. Now, at the same time, these same people will laugh at the little girl. She has a problem. But you believe in invisible, imaginary friends, gods, or whatever, just like the little girl have her little animal. What difference is it? It don't exist. It don't exist for the little girl, and for the millions or billions around the earth that believe in this invisible creator, it don't exist. It don't exist.
Yes. What do you think about okay, the Bible, is that I mean, does the Bible consist of just make believe fairy tales? And I mean, Black people prior to European colonization, I mean, what are your thoughts on, I'm just trying to, you know, get down to the bottom of this. That's why I asked the main question, is there a God?
This is what we have to do. Ancient people were they were smart, and they developed certain technologies, and they learned certain things. But when it's all said and done, remember, these people was ignorant. They were ignorant of things. And even though they began to learn some of the sciences of things, of the natural world, they still hold on to the things that they believed in when they were ignorant. Religion and all these beliefs come from a time when the people were ignorant. They didn't understand the sun. They didn't understand the movement of the planets. And since they didn't understand, they made stuff up to bring them understanding of how things are. That's what they done. Because at one time, there were gods, plural. You know, the sun was a god, the water was a god. There was many gods. But after a certain period of time, they turned it into God. One God. To explain the whole thing. Instead of saying the sun god, the water god, the grizzly bear god, or whatever, we're going to turn this and we're going to give one being the credit for all of it. That's what they've done. Now, if you worship the sun or the grizzly bear or the crocodile or whatever these other gods was, you can see these animals. You can see the sun. You can see the moon. They created a being that you never see, that you can't talk to. It's invisible. But it's responsible for all these things. These other gods was real. Sun is real. Everybody can see it. But then you create this invisible God that's responsible for all of it. We never see. We can't ask this. Here you are praying to something that never responds to you. You pray 24 hours a day. In the Muslim world, they're supposed to pray at least 7 times a day. You never see this invisible being. You never. To the day you die. You just have to believe that it exists, but you never, ever meet it. In fact, if it was not for a man, you wouldn't know nothing about it. All this stuff comes from the minds of men. There's no God that ever came and told you nothing. This is a fact. We all come into this earth knowing nothing, period, whatsoever. We don't know nothing.
I have another question. Was there ever a time that you believed in a quote unquote God in your entire life? Was there a time you ever subscribed, you know, to this God?
Of course. It was forced on me as a child before I could even walk good. Before you can even walk good, you know, they make a Christian out of you or a Muslim or whatever these beliefs are. Before you can even walk good, they brainwash you as a child. For your brain can even develop, they start putting this in your head. I didn't ask because no God ever come to you. People put this in your head. There's no, if this was natural, if God was real, if God was natural, your mother, your father, a priest, nobody has to talk to you about no God. It's automatic inside of you. if it was not for a person teaching us about these gods, these invisible, the supernatural, where do we get supernatural from? Because there's no examples of supernatural on this planet. Where do it come from? It comes from the imagination of men. The only place you're going to find the supernatural is in fiction, like Superman. There's no man that we've ever known that can fly, that got heat vision and super strength. That's fiction. Superman. He's beyond the natural of what we know. That's only found in fiction. There's nobody in real time that has no superpowers like that. Nobody.
Yes, sir.
Only in fiction. I mean, how can you explain? Okay, how can Superman fly without wings? He's not flying without a jet. He just take off and fly. I mean, how can you explain that in the natural world? You know, bugs fly, birds fly. We can fly in an airplane. I mean, we can fly, but we got to, you know, but there's a reason why we can, you know, we fly. This guy takes off from the earth and just takes off and just take off and go. There's no examples of nothing doing that on this planet. There's no animal on this planet without wings or whatever that can just take off like Superman do. Only in imagination, only in a fictional world. But like I say, these things, this type of thinking was forced on us as a child. And really, to me, that's a form of child abuse. You shouldn't do that to children. If you want to teach your religion or these beliefs on people, let them get to an age where they can begin to, so they can understand certain things. But see, we brainwash these children, and that's what makes it more upsetting to me, and what gets me really more angry, because you told me a lie. I really believe this. I really believe that Jesus came here and died for my sins. I really believe that Wallace Farad Muhammad was willing to walk 40 mile high mountain to save just one black man in America, and the mothership gonna come and save black people. You know, you told me all these different things. It's a lie. All of it is a lie, and time has shown it to be a lie. This Christian teaching has been around for 2,000 years.
Yes,
this teaching of the Nation of Islam has been around over 80 years. Ain't no damn mother plane came and did nothing for nobody. Jesus ain't came and did nothing for nobody. There was just a shooting. This brother, for whatever reason, he went berserk, took his gun, and killed 11 people. Where was God? I'm pretty sure maybe the majority of those 11 people believed in God. Where was the God to come and save them and stop this? This God never do nothing. This God want all this praise. Serve me, praise me. And this God cannot even protect you from a bullet. Can't do nothing for you. The suffering around the world, all these people that believe in God, the suffering, the child molestation, the pedophilia, the rape and the murder and the endless wars all over the world. And this God been around for thousands of years, ain't helped no damn body. All the gods in Africa, all this African spirituality, and God didn't do a damn thing for you. Then and now, not doing nothing. And you giving these gods these praise and telling me how much power this God is, and God gonna do this. Louis Farrakhan said, the only thing I have to do is contact Elijah Muhammad, who is dead, but he can contact Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad is next to God, and if he wants to bring a tornado or earthquake, they'll do it for him.
Yes.
It has yet to happen. If you really want to prove that, then you tell the people in the middle of summer, you tell the people in the middle of summer that I'm gonna ask God to bring a snowstorm on Chicago.
I'm glad you said that, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just say this real quick. I am so glad you say that, because I think that man tries to tamper with things that are unknown. Now, if we look around on planet Earth, now, you know, this leads on to my next question is, do you think that there is a higher being? But I agree with you 1,000%. It's like man-made, you know, these man-made stories.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, these are falsehoods.
Matter of fact, they even told you that the Bible is the greatest story ever told.
Yes, sir. But I mean, just looking around, brother, like just looking around. I mean, everything, you know, the way that we are able to survive. I mean, you know, there's plants that grow in the garden. There's fruit that, you know, trees that you yield fruit. If we look up, we see a big, bright sun. I mean, I'm just trying to like, what are your thoughts on just the world around you, Mother Earth? And is there a higher being? Is there a higher being in this, you know, in this universe?
If there's a higher being, we don't know nothing about it, okay? Run around here making stuff up, telling damn lies. You know, it's just like if you wake up one morning and there's a $100 bill under your pillow. You have no idea how it got there. And, you know, so some of us, we start guessing and assuming, but we really don't know. Only thing I know is I woke up and there was a $100 bill under my pillow. We really don't know. You don't know. When you know, you can prove it. When you know, you can prove it. Well, I can say, well, mama put that $100 bill under my pillow. Oh, man, yeah, right. Mama don't even have $100. Oh, she got $100. Then you go to your video camera. See, I sleep with my video machine on all the time. Let's go through the videotape. Look, there go mama. She coming in my room. I'm asleep. She putting that $100 bill under my pillow. There you go. No more argument. Nothing else to say. No debates. It's over. That's the way you have to be with this God thing. Just prove it like that. No debate, no argument. You've made your case. It's over. What is there to argue about? They don't do that because it's belief. Belief does not require evidence. Belief does not require logic or common sense or nothing. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. It's about belief. Belief does not require proof.
Where do all these creatures come? That's what I'm trying to get you to speak on. I mean, like all these insects, I mean, animals, birds, I mean, the sun, the wind. I mean, is there a higher being?
See, this is the thing. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. What's wrong with saying, I don't know? But we won't say, I don't know. We want to look as though we do know and tell a damn outright lie. That's what you do. You are lie. These are people are outright liars. That's the problem here. And then you want to give credit, this God, this credit for grasshoppers and grass or whatever. Some kind of supernatural being, but this being that you talk about sound like a man. This person get angry, is jealous, do the same kind of stuff that a man would do, because that's all that you know. You don't know nothing about no supernatural being. You don't know nothing about the supernatural, anything outside of yourself. Anytime you look at science fiction, all these creatures and monsters and everything that they make up is based on something they know on this planet. Some creature, some animal, something they already know. You don't know nothing outside of this reality that you know. So you cannot even imagine it. All these creatures and beings and monsters and everything that they make up has the same basic form of some animal on this planet that they know about. Because you cannot think outside of what you know, what you've experienced. And this God that you got is no different. Even when they talk about you go to heaven, when you go to heaven, you are a soul and go to heaven. Like this sister was telling me about this little girl who claimed that she came from heaven and she know what heaven is about. And she was talking about she's tired of being on the earth. She loves her mother and father on earth, but she's ready to go back to heaven. And she got these toys and things. Why What do a soul need with toys in heaven? You a soul. What you need toys for? That's something for a human child would want. What do you need? The Bible talks about heaven, talks about milk and honey in heaven. What do a soul, what do you need milk and honey? And talks about heaven like green grass and stuff. What do a soul need stuff like that for? It sounds like the earth. You walk on paths of silver and gold or something to that effect they describe in heaven. And then in the Quran, it talks about when you die in the name of Allah, you will die and God gonna give you 40 virgins. What the hell you care about sex when you're dead? Because a soul, a spirit don't have no gender. What you need 40 virgins for? See what I'm saying? These are things that a man would want. What do a spirit need these things for? You a spirit and gonna go to hell and burn forever. You can't burn a spirit. The only thing, fire is physical. And a fire can only burn as long as the fuel or whatever it is that it's feeding off of. Just like they talk about the sun. They said one day the sun gonna go out. When the gases or whatever it is that make up the sun, when it burns all that up. And the fire goes out. But fire, those things can't hurt a spirit. What a spirit? A spirit don't even have a gender. When you die and become a spirit, you don't even need a gender no more. You're not male or female. What you need a gender for? These are things that are concerned when you are human in this reality, the only reality that we know. And you can't think outside of that. Even this God is a man. You call this God he. They very rarely say that God is a she. Really, God should be a it. What do God need to have a gender for? God should be neither male or female. That's for something that is in need of reproduction. You need a penis and a vagina, so you are a male or a female. God should be a it. But they say God is a he. Sometimes she. These are, the whole thing is made up. The whole thing is made up. I'm very upset. This was forced on me as a child. But even as a child, something in my mind was saying, something wrong with this, something wrong with this. I just couldn't, I didn't know. I didn't know what was wrong. But I knew that something is wrong with this. I don't know. I'm just going to have to go along with it because that's what I was taught from a child. But even in the scriptures, it say, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, but now I'm an adult. You can't give me these, I don't need imaginary friends. I'm an adult now.
Yes, sir. Do you believe in a such thing as an afterlife? Like what happened? Okay.
See, that's the thing. I don't want to know anything.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to believe anything, rather. I want to know. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. See, this is the thing, too. The human being is afraid of death. So we don't want to die. So we make up these stories. Well, I'm not really going to die. I'm going to transition to another world, dimension X, Pluto, AB, whatever. I'm going to go to heaven in the sky, out there somewhere in the universe. Everything on this planet lives and it dies. We want to think that we're different, we're better than anything else on this planet. Germs die. Grass die, birds die, elephants die. But for some reason, the human being, you're not going to die. Wherever you was at prior to coming here, I guess that's where you'll be going back to. You did not know nothing about this prior to come. Matter of fact, you didn't know this. You didn't know nothing about this until your brain started developing. Because nobody knows or can remember what it was to be 6 weeks old, maybe not even a year old. We don't know. Our brain has nothing. Our brain is our connection into this reality. So you don't know nothing until your brain develops. We don't know nothing, absolutely nothing. The only thing you do when you come into this world is you piss and take a dump on yourself. That's the only thing you do. You know, bodily function. That's all you do. You act on instinct. You holler and you cry and hope somebody answer that, because you can't feed yourself. You can't do nothing. You don't know anything. We was taught this by these people that's here. If it was natural, you don't have to be taught. Chickens don't have to be taught what they need to do. Deer don't have to be taught what they need to do. But usually in mammals are different. Mammals are sort of on the helpless side. They have to be taught by their parents. They don't have instincts. They don't have those things in us. We have to be taught by our parents. You know, lions teach their babies this and that, and deer teach their babies this and that. You know, mammals. We have to be taught these things, because when we come into this world, we don't know nothing. The human being don't know nothing. I could have been born, instead of being born in a Christian family, I could have been born in a Muslim family, then I would have been taught Islam. Or I could have been born in some of these other religions that we don't even know nothing about, because there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of different religions. And they all tell this lie about this supernatural being. It's all a lie. It comes from a time when people was ignorant, and they made up these stories to explain why is there day and night. You know, why is there fall, winter, and spring and things of this nature. They made up these things. And then even after we gained knowledge in our sciences and knew why this caused what, we still was holding on to these stories. And I want to say this is not to say there is no good lessons, there's no good information in Bible or Quran. But when you talking about, when you take it to the point where there's some supreme being that dictate all this, then you know you're telling an outright lie, because you can't prove it. It's a lie. You should be shaming yourself, and you should be ashamed to force this on children. You say also, I want to say, these are the words of God. Now, mind you, God ain't wrote nothing. Matter of fact, I was gonna make a short video about this. But God has not wrote nothing. Now, if you look at a book by Stephen King, like The Shining, I think it's The Shining by Stephen King, or How to Eat and Live by Elijah Muhammad, you have the title of the book and you have the name of the author. You never see the Holy Quran written by Allah. You never see the Holy Bible written by, this God. It's just the Holy Bible or the Holy Quran. Who's the author? And then when you read the book, it's a variety of stories coming from all kinds of different people. It's hearsay information. They say that God said. God didn't write nothing. God didn't say nothing. This is hearsay, speculation from men. And if it was put on trial, it'll be shown that it's all a bunch of lies. It's lies.
Yes.
Matter of fact, they won't allow. There's people who actually wanted to take the church and the mosque and all these religions to court, but they won't allow that. They won't allow it because it will be proven all these books are nothing but a bunch of lies. And a lot of people will be winning millions and millions and millions of dollars against their church, mosque, synagogue, and all this other religion stuff, because they've been spreading. Actually, what they've been doing is committing fraud. That's what it is. It's fraud. Because you're making a claim and you're using it, you're making this claim and you're using it really to make money for self-benefit. It's fraud. Because I know there was a case in France. This guy was suing the Catholic Church. And they let it go so far, then they dismissed his case. They was going to lose because he said that they lied to him, of which they did. All religion is outright lies. You know, much respect to believers, but we've been told a lie. I was taught the same thing. It's a lie. It's outright lies. Time has proven it's a lie. This God has never done nothing for nobody. These slaves suffering, God never did nothing for them. These Peckerwoods went to war, the Civil War. That's what caused them to be physically free, or really physically set loose. They never were free. I mean, set loose. This God had nothing to do with it. God never answered their prayers. So, brother, it's a lie.
Yes, sir.
It's a lie. But, you know, some people say that they, you know, I believe it. I need it. It changed my life. Because that's what you know. This was forced on you since you was a baby in this society that you live in. It's not the fact that you need it. It's the fact that it was forced on you. And you think that you need it. Instead of being taught how to think for yourself, how to solve problems, use your mind, instead of being introduced to drugs and alcohol and all the other garbage in this society, you would have been much better off. And then even when you do look at these religions, they're supposed to change people's lives, but it's with strings attached. They want you to serve this God. They want you to become part of this group so that you can be exploited. Give me your money. Give me your time. Obey their orders. It's strings attached. You can't leave us, Malcolm X. We taught you. You owe us. Well, you know, we're not getting along no more, and it's time for me to leave. No, Malcolm, I made you. So you owe me. Oh, since you think you're just gonna get up out of here and leave? Wait till you get on that podium in front of your wife and children. We're gonna show you, sir. That's what religion is about. It comes with strings attached. That man, Malcolm X, survived criminal activity, life, just to be gunned down by people who claim to be peaceful and loving. It don't make any sense. Malcolm actually had a better chance of living to be 100 years old being a criminal. When he joined that religion and that madness, that insanity, that's when the clock started ticking down. Because when he began to realize it's not what it's cracked up to be, then you owe me. I made you. I thought you just wanted to do something good for me and save my life. I made you. You owe me. Hell, if I knew that, you could have just let me die. I don't want your savior. I don't want you to be my savior. But that's the way it is with all religions. They feed you, the Christian church and the Catholic church. They feed people. Yeah, they do a whole lot of things that's helpful for a price. You owe them. It's with strings attached. They don't feed you. They don't try to make your life better simply because they want to see you do better. No, Jesus done this for you. You got to join Jesus, the mosque, the synagogue, these religions. See, ain't nothing but criminal mafia activity. That's what it is. That's what it is, bro. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yes, sir. Okay. If we, go back historically and we just look at, the historical condition of Black people here in America.
Yeah.
A lot of Black people, by the very definition of what a God is supposed to mean to represent. I mean, what are your thoughts on the statement, the white man is God. I mean,
I told you, God means that which has force and power. He's the God of this world. He has the force, he has the power.
so the white man is, like, when we talk about Mother Earth, he's the God of Earth.
He's the God as far as humanity is concerned. He controls a whole lot of different things. He has incredible science. I mean, he's the man. He's the God right now. He deserves that title. Hell, he controls us.
So in our lives, God is white.
This peck of wood, look, this peck of wood, if he wanted to, could take every Negro in this country, round you up, since you want to go to Africa, kick your ass and send you to Africa, whether you like it or not. He has that power if he wanted to do it. What can you do to stop him? None, because you're not a God. You don't have no force, you have no power. None. The only thing you can do is run your mouth. Now, some of you might try to get brave and you try to fight this God. He just blow your brains out and keep doing what he need to do. Because you don't have enough, you're not in a position to do anything against this power is too great. If he wanted to put every black soul brother and sister in mass graves right now, he could do it. What can you do to stop him? You're an idiot. You're too dumb to unify. Your only chance to fight against another power is to become a power to yourself, but you're too damn stupid for that. Because you don't like Minister Farrakhan. You don't believe in Jesus. Well, guess what? All of our ass would be in a damn mass grave. How you like that? Don't have to worry about it no more.
Yes, indeed. So on this earth, I mean, God is white. If we talk about just the powers, who owns the power? Like you just said, I mean, shit, the whites, the white police force, the white military, they could come right now, place us all in concentration camps and exterminate us.
Yeah.
And we do not have any type of power to fight back.
None. What can you do? I mean, I hear people like, your boy Umar and Tariq Nasheed and Sadnetta. If a day like that came, what you gonna do about it? Sarah Susan said black power, all this black power, you're gonna be hollering that black power as your body rolling down the bank of a mass grave. So what? That don't mean nothing. These people not impressed by your talk. When they talk about power, they got it for real. They're just not running their mouth. They have enough nuclear weapons that can change life on this planet as we know it by throwing nuclear radiation all over this earth. Now, all of us as human beings, it's not a guarantee that we will all die. But chances are with all that radiation, we'll never be the same. We'll probably, the human beings, if we survive, we'll probably mutate. Instead of having 2 eyes, we might have 3 eyes. Instead of having 4 limbs, we might have 6 limbs or something crazy. Who knows?
What are your thoughts, brother, on Negroes with all this feel-good rhetoric, acting as if they ready for revolution, like they're going to actually, I'm talking, all of these pro-blackity-black YouTube channels acting as if they're going to go and beat the white man in war. Like, what are your thoughts on this, all this feel-good rhetoric that's going around on social media?
That's all it is. It's feel-good rhetoric. The only chance you got in hell, not only dealing with Caucasian people, or you got other people that's a threat too. Any other people is a threat. Mexicans, even other Africans that's coming here, they could be a threat. You cannot do nothing unless you're unified. And since you're not interested in that, the Mexicans or not only Caucasian people, anybody can bully us around. And they're doing it. They're doing it. As soon as these people, a lot of them come off the boat, they run straight to these black communities because they know you're not going to do nothing about nothing. They know that already. They know that even before they come here. And I want to say this too, because some of us are not realistic. I travel this country. I go into small towns, small cities, and I see things. Apparently, a lot of these folks don't see stuff. They always talk about how the Arabs and all these other people come into the black community. Believe me, they are in the white communities too. I see it all the time. The Arabs and all these other foreign folks is in their communities also. It's just not in ours. In these little hick towns, you have these Korean, Asian restaurants and whatever. They in Caucasian communities too, out in these rural areas. So apparently you don't get around too much. But I see the country. I go through these small towns all the time. They are there also. Then there's another myth, brother, I want to put out on the table. There's another myth. They talk about our community is filled up with liquor stores and churches. If you go into these communities, you'll see the same kind of stuff. Strip clubs, liquor stores, and churches on every corner is in these Caucasian communities too. So I don't know where we get that, like, that's the only place that ever happens is just us. No, it's there in their communities too. I see it, I go through it, I run through it, see it every day. You see these Peckerwoods coming out of the bars, drunk as a skunk. They high on meth. They doing opioids, all kinds of stuff. They ain't, they are being affected by crap too. The only difference is we get more media attention to make us look like we the cream of the crop when it comes to debauchery. That's all. Now,
Yes,
I will say this: I've been through different, like, Asian places and some of these, like African communities or whatever. Now I don't see it in theirs. Now I can't say I've seen it in their communities like that. But as far as the Caucasian, a lot of us like to compare ourselves to Caucasian people. They messed up too. Matter of fact, why you think we live in the way we live in? Everything that they are, we are. That's the way it's been for 500 years.
What would you say to people, to brothers and sisters who, even though the white man is in power,
yeah,
they would say that no, the white man is not God. The white man is the devil,
yeah,
of the Bible, and that we are in the last days, and we are, They've
been talking that crap. They've been talking that we are in the last days and this is the worst times I ever seen. They've been saying that same stuff since the time the Bible and the Quran was written. Oh, this is the last day. Look how bad it's getting. But they've been saying that same stuff for generations and generations and generations. And no God, no devil. Matter of fact, if there's no God, there's no devil either. Okay.
Well, when you look at it, bro, I mean, when we say no devil, like, look at the history for the last 400 to 500 years. There was a devil for black people. There's a devil.
Let me tell you something, this brother here. See, I want to use this as an example. You got a woman who's being abused, okay? It's wrong for her mate to be abusing her, beating her up every day, calling her hoe and bitch every day. That's wrong. And then he pull a gun on her, threaten to kill her and all this kind of crazy stuff. That's wrong. She has been abused and she's going through a bad time. There's no doubt about that. But now it's wrong. And you can call her husband a devil, okay? Now, at the same time, what you don't know is this same woman is beating up on her children. She's a drunk, she do crack cocaine, and blah, blah, blah. Now, the point I'm trying to make is she's not holy and righteous either. It's still wrong for her to do, for her husband to do what he's doing to her, but she's not no saint. She's not holy and righteous either. I'm tired of hearing this story told like black folks, dark-skinned people is holy and righteous, and you're not. You're not holy and righteous. Prior to them crackers coming on the scene, these suckers, and they still doing it today, fighting amongst each other, doing crazy stuff. They was doing that way before the Peckerwood. Matter of fact, do you understand how great civilizations come into being? Great civilizations come into being, great cities come into being, great large nations come into being. Usually what happens is they go to war with their smaller neighbors, and they force their neighbors to become part of this bigger conglomerate, so to speak. That's how it's done. You call the white man the devil. Believe me, there's a lot of black folks, dark-skinned people, would call the black man the devil. And they would if they existed, but when they was conquered, they killed every man, woman, and child in that village and took their land, took their cattle and things of this nature. This would happen prior to the Peckerwood. It's still going on right now to this day. So let's stop telling this damn story like Caucasian people is some kind of, he just done something. He's done nothing that these people have never done. Now, he's done a very good job at it because he has the technology and he's a very smart kind of guy. But these people was doing this kind of stuff way before the Peckerwood. Matter of fact, who do you think these people learned it all from? Who taught them that gold was valuable? Who taught them that diamond was valuable? Who taught them about materialism? Here they are. Remember, the story is that these people are supposed to be living in a cave, living a beast life. So what the hell they care about gold and silver and diamonds and silk and rubies? These black folks went over there and civilized them and taught them about all this. And they learned and they picked all this stuff up real quick. And these dark-skinned people was calling them savages, and they developed way faster than anybody could even think of. Then they flipped the script, and now they made these dark-skinned people savages, and matter of fact, even made these dark-skinned people slaves.
Yes.
They flipped the script. But never, don't bring to me like dark-skinned people with some kind of angel. They ain't do nothing wrong. We was just sitting around here minding our own business, and everything was holy and righteous and great. That's a damn lie. And then the Nation of Islam teach some crap like your nature is peace. If your nature is peace, brother, I'm gonna use this as an example. I used to raise aquarium fish. And then you have a fish that's called a community fish. A community fish is any fish that can live with any other fish. Don't cause no problems. They just do their own thing, don't bother nobody. And an example of a community fish is a goldfish. No matter what you do to a goldfish are just docile. It's very rare that you will find a goldfish that's a troublemaker that want to beat up on other fish and cause any other fish harm. Goldfish are good community fish because that's their nature. And no matter how you breed the goldfish, whether it's a black moor or a comet or a koi or whatever these goldfish are, that's their nature. They just some docile fish because that's their nature. If love and peace was the nature of the black man, so you say, how is it possible that you commit murder, rape, incest, pedophilia, you tell lies and slander? How can you do that so easily? Or well, the white man, no, you was doing it before the white man even showed up on the planet. You was doing it. You was a liar. You was warmonger. You was raping, pedophilia, and everything else under the sun. Stop telling these old feel-good ass lies. I'm not into that. But you do deserve justice. You do deserve it, regardless. But don't run around here and act like you a goody two-shoes, like you never done nothing wrong. It's a damn lie. It's a Negro that's gonna kill another Negro. As we are having this talk right now, there's a Negro murdering another Negro right now. There's a Negro slandering another Negro, spreading gossip on another Negro right now as we speak. But your nature is peaceful and loving. Get the hell out of here. You got a Negro raping his own daughter right now as we speak. But your nature is you loving and caring and peaceful. Get the hell out of here. You can't bring that lie to me. But you do deserve justice. You do deserve to be treated like a human being. You do deserve
that. Brother, since I know that you are a former member of the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
And I respect you for your works.
Yes, sir.
But the question, okay, once and for all, let's just speak on this. This statement, the white man is the devil. Maybe you, as being a former member of the Nation of Islam, maybe you can help me to understand that statement, because when I hear that statement, the white man is the devil, I just think, you know, all white people are bad. Like all white people are devils. Like you were just explaining.
Yeah.
Like Negroes act as if they're innocent.
Yeah.
Like they were innocent prior to any contact whatsoever with the Europeans.
Yeah.
You're saying that's just not the case.
That's not the case.
It's a part of human nature.
Yeah.
So let's just talk on, man. The white man is
the devil.
See,
the concept of white man is the devil is he's supposed to be the upper echelon, the evil of the evil. That's why he's called a devil. Elijah Muhammad said that he's called a devil because his evil affects others. You know, it affects black folks, it affects the Chinese, his evil affects the animals, the trees, everything he does, it affects. So he's called a devil because of the extreme wickedness of his actions. That's why he's called a devil. And to my knowledge, they are teaching that the white man, all white people are the devil. And he also teaches it's their nature to be evil, wicked. It's their nature. See, I always had a problem with that. When you talk about something is somebody's nature, like when we talk about a dog's nature or a cat's nature or whatever, well, those are domesticated animals. They really can't be used as an example because their nature really has been altered. But in order to really stake a claim and say that's just the nature of somebody, you have to see them in their environment prior to being influenced, prior to be altered by some outside force. Say, for instance, like a pig. Some of us actually believe that pigs like to wallow around in mud, and they are some filthy, nasty creatures. We really believe that. That's what we've seen. That's not the case. The pig is in the hippopotamus family. The reason why pigs wallow in dirt and mud is not because they're nasty. Pigs wallow in mud and dirt because they don't have any sweat glands. So they use dust and they use mud to help cool their body off. Also, when it comes to the domesticated pig, you put them in these pig pens. Well, they end up eating up all the grass in the pig pen, and there's no vegetation there no more. And so they have to wallow in filth because they don't have nowhere else to go. But that's not their nature. If you know anything about pigs, study pigs, you will see they are not nasty, filthy creatures like that if you study them in the wild. But when they are domesticated, when they are put into these unnatural circumstances, that's what you see. That's what you see. So we cannot say that the white man is some type of devil or wicked by nature, when that same white man, if you driving down the road and that white man see, for some reason, you have an accident and end up down in a ditch. If he's evil by nature, why does he stop his car and run down to the bottom of the ditch and ask you, are you all right? Since he's wicked by nature, why don't he drop a grenade on your car while you're down there? You know, why do some of these white folks pay your bills for you? They see, damn, I can't pay my bill. They'll come out of nowhere. I noticed that you're having a problem with your bill. You know, it's not much. Can I give you $50 help you on your bill? But if their nature is wickedness, why do they do these, what we consider nice things? Matter of fact, they do more charitable work in Africa than these Negroes running around here talking about black power. What is black power doing for those brothers and sisters in Africa who don't have clean running water? I don't see them raising no money to go help them find fresh, clean water. They're not doing nothing. But the white man, the devil, you see them going over there, and that's what they do. They set up the systems and help them get fresh, clean running water. But black power not doing that. But this white man is the devil.
Yes, sir. Do we benefit more, or would we benefit more in the society, in the white American society that we're in, or in Africa? And also, like, what are your thoughts on a nation governed by Minister Louis Farrakhan?
Okay, let me take this two parts. What was the first part that you said? I forgot the first part of your question.
Okay, was the first part of my question is, the American Negro, black people. We're just looking at the condition of us.
Would you do better? Would we do better here or in Africa?
Yes, sir.
If you can't do better here, how the hell are you gonna do better in Africa? You have nothing, no kind of connection. You have nothing in Africa at all, period. If you can't do better here in the place that you was born and raised and know about, what can you do in a foreign land with people that you don't know nothing about? It don't even make any sense. If you can't do nothing here where you've been living going on 500 years, what are you going to accomplish? What are you going to do with some foreign people on foreign land? It don't even make any sense. It goes back to what you were saying again. Feel good rhetoric. Sounds good, whatever. But that's delusional thinking. In order to accomplish anything of substance in Africa, you would have to gain some kind of power structure, some kind of strength where you live, so then you can have something to work with, something that you can offer. See, that's, people talk about the Mississippi campaign. That's the purpose of the Mississippi campaign, y'all idiots. So that if you want to go to Africa, you can go there and have something to offer. When white folks, Caucasian people, pinks, or China, or any of these other people go to Africa, they go in there because they have something to offer. You don't have nothing except your booty to offer that continent. You have nothing. You have no skills. You bring in no skills, no education. The only thing you bring into them is a black power fist, and they are not impressed by a black power fist. They don't care about that kind of stuff. What are you going to give me? How do I benefit? How do Africa benefit from you coming there? That's what they want to know. You have nothing to offer. So if you was able to accomplish having a Mississippi campaign, actually taking control of a state, and that state gives us power in our cities, in New York, New Orleans, Chicago, from the power base that you created in Mississippi, then you could take that power, because now you got power. Now you got influence. Right now, you don't have nothing. You have nothing to offer. Matter of fact, when you gain power, you even gain the respect of the country that you're living in. Do you believe that you're going to be treated the same way that we're treated right now? If you're able to take control of a state like Mississippi, now you got power. The United States government even the other states in the union cannot look at soul brothers and sisters the same no more because you got power. They're not tripping off you right now because you powerless. You don't have a damn thing.
What do you say to brothers who claim to be Pan-African but haven't even sent the bag of rights?
Let me get to the second part of your question. You was talking about a nation under the rule of Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
You crazy as hell. I wouldn't go nowhere. I wouldn't go nowhere with the Nation of Islam. Do you know they murder people? That's the kind of mindset. You go and try to live under the rules of Louis Farrakhan, those crazy Muslims and people with that type of thinking, you're gonna be in bad shape. You think that living with the Peckerwood is bad. Living with them people and they under control and they actually could murder you, give you a phony trial and call you Uncle Tom and a cool and hang you by your neck till you dead because you disagree with something they said or something they doing. I'd rather keep taking my chances with the Peckerwood. I wouldn't go nowhere. Let them. I can guarantee you that nation wouldn't even last that much longer. They will have civil war in a matter of days because they're doing it right now. They can't get along right now. So what make you think if they went somewhere and let them actually control something, all of a sudden it's going to be beautiful? They already in bad shape right now. Why would you want to go and actually give them the power to murder you at any time? Because as soon as you said something against the minister, he blasphemed the minister. He talked bad about Elijah Muhammad. I would be a dead man automatically. Me and young Pharaoh wouldn't have a chance.
So, I mean, that goes to the topic of discussion. Is there such thing as God? What do you think about Black people who place, these Black leaders in God positions? When we talk about
Well, let me tell you, as far as we as a people is concerned, I do understand because we were bred to be slaves. It goes back to, matter of fact, I didn't even know nothing about the breeding farm until I heard you say it, brother Craig. And then when I heard about the breeding farm, the whole thing started making sense to me. See, we were bred to be slaves. We were bred to worship, serve something or somebody or something. In the case of Louis Farrakhan, we can serve a man and we can serve God at the same time. As long as we are serving somebody, as long as we're bowing down to somebody, praising somebody, worshiping something, that's the sick mentality we have, because that's where we come from. We were bred to be slaves. For the last 400 years, that's all we know. We've never been independent of Caucasian people. We never.
I want to make sure you throw this up in here too, because this relates to the question. Let me just say this real quick so you can add all of this into your response. What would you say to Negroes who would classify Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Wallace Farad Muhammad as being a god? If you could just speak on that as well.
Well, actually, according to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, the only God is, well, we all God. Remember, the Black man is God. All of us are gods, but remember, but the God is Wallace Farad Muhammad. And you praying, and you worshiping Wallace Farad Muhammad. You're not worshiping Elijah. Elijah is just the messenger. And Louis Farrakhan is just an assistant to the messenger. The God is Wallace Farad Muhammad. That's the God that's supposed to have the power.
The only reason I say God is I'm just saying it goes back to what you were saying when you talk about how, Black people have become like blind followers. These people can't do any wrong. So regardless of what they do, Black people are going, Black people will kill you. Speaking out against the minister, regardless, even if the minister was in the wrong. So that's why I say that Black people put, these leaders in these God like positions. So go ahead and speak on it, bro.
Not only Black leadership, but as far as Michael Jackson fans is concerned, you know, he could do no wrong. You know, we do that. We do this with, I told you we have a slave mentality. Even on, oh brother, even on the plantation, Massa can do no wrong. Massa whooped that slave, believe me, he deserved it. Massa don't do no wrong. See, we have that, that's the same kind of mentality, mindset that our people even had during slavery. Massa can do no wrong. White folks can't do no wrong. You tell some of these guys about what Caucasian people do, and they're gonna make some kind of excuse. Well, such and such and blah blah. They make excuses for that which you know, that which they serve, their massa that they serve. Now your massa could be the white man, your massa could be some Negro, like Farrakhan or Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson don't do nothing wrong. Tariq Nasheed does nothing wrong. Cynthia G does nothing wrong. Sarnetta does nothing wrong. Even though you can clearly see whatever it is really whack. You see it and you know it, but they can't do nothing wrong. You got to find a way to justify it. Elijah Muhammad didn't do nothing wrong. The Quran said this. The Quran said that. Got to find a reason to justify what they done, because they can't do no wrong. How are you going to be a free people? How are you going to live independently with that kind of mindset? When your leadership is wrong, when your leadership is an error, then that's just what it is. You got to nip it in the bud. Because if your leadership is wrong, that means they're guiding you wrong. That means they're not gonna guide you right. And then when you look at the Nation of Islam, the whole nation, a lot of those Negroes, something was wrong with them. They was wearing bow ties, but a lot of them still was a bunch of criminals. They still had that criminal mentality. Nothing changed. It gave it an illusion of something different, but it wasn't real. And when you give people, see, and there's another thing. When you give people praise and they get money, and these men get all this booty, all the booty they ever want in their life, that changes folks. It changes them. At one time, they probably were sincere, but now they were like, damn, look at me. I am a god. They believe their own hype. And you can't, and these people are such a slave, they can't even see that this person has changed right before their eyes. Changed right before their eyes. They can't see that this person has turned corrupt. They can't see it. Especially when you think that that person done something. Well, I was a drug addict. I was living with my mama and everything. I was in prison for 10 years. And then I heard the life-giving teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So you think that you owe people something. And you loyal to them whether they right or wrong. That's so, you know, that's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in.
Yes, sir. So the black man is God. The black woman is God.
Yeah, that's the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. The black man and woman. Actually, it's the black man is the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. Didn't mention women. You're supposed to assume that when I said black man, I'm also including the black woman. But women and men are different. Two different genders. If I said black man, how can you assume I'm talking about black women too? If you want to assume that I'm talking about the black woman, you're supposed to say the black people are God. See, that it's biased. And see, women get stuck in this stuff too. And clearly, they don't really care too much for womanhood. It's all about the men. You know, Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Wallace Farr, Jesus, Noah, Mo. Women and all this stuff that we talk about, whatever, little reference is given to women. It's all about the men. Women don't really do too much of nothing except kick out babies. That's the only thing women really do. Is kick out babies, serve your man, have my damn dinner on the table when I come home from work kind of stuff. Women, the life of women, womanhood really is ignored. You know, they just something to use by men. That's all. I remember See, they play games. I forgot, I think it was 1985. Minister Farrakhan was talking all that like he support women crap. And instead of FOI being his main security, he let the sisters become his main security. And he did that for just a few minutes. Next thing you know, it went right back to the FOI. I already knew that wouldn't go. That was just nothing but a show for the women, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the sisters was like, damn, we don't get to do nothing. Look how they, he wanted to show that you are that you part of this, but really you're not. You're not part of nothing. In none of these religions. These religions was designed for what is in the best interest of a man. Matter of fact, this is how it goes. You have God, then you have man next to God, then you have a woman next to to the man, then you have the children next to the woman. That's how it's supposed to go. So the woman is never next to God. Never. In order for the woman to get next to God, she got to be close to that man. And then remember, the man is God. It's all messed up. Sisters need to leave that stuff alone. They need to come to a place where they can really be treated equal, and they are put on a high pedestal for real. Ain't no shucking and jiving. Because in nature, it's all about the woman. In nature. In these religions, it's about the man. In nature, it's all about the woman. It's all about the female in nature. It's all about that female bee, that female ant, that female dog, that female goat. It's all about the female. I didn't make that up. That's how it is in nature. In nature, the male is what's that word I'm looking for? But anyway, the male is like collateral damage as long as the female survives. Because one male can fertilize hundreds of females. So it don't make too much difference about male, and they do it. You have polygamous societies, whatever. You have that one male, he's able to produce babies by 50 women or whatever. So the male really isn't all that important. It's the important one is the woman, the female. Nature don't put a whole lot of emphasis on males, and that's all right with me. I can handle that. But see, the thing about men is they want that position that woman has. They want that praise. They want that honor that the woman has. Because nature don't give it to us. So what the men gonna do, I'm gonna force it. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna make you bow down to me. I'm gonna force you to honor me. I'm gonna force you to treat me like you do the woman, and put her in that inferior position. And that's one of the reasons why we all messed up right now, because men should not be in charge of nothing. We don't have the right mentality. We don't have the right mindset. We're not caring. We're not nurturing. We're very violent. We're very possessive. All the things that a real leader should not have. That's the reason why we live in the condition that we're in, because men should not be in charge. You don't have the right mentality. And if you look in nature, the one that's running the family is the female. That's who you see. And the one who gets all the praise is always my mama. Mama, mama. And men get sick of hearing that. It's always mama. I've actually been around men who's jealous of their wives. Jealous because they're getting all the attention. Well, what about daddy? What about daddy? So now you have a Father's Day because you had a whole bunch of suckers. Well, what about me? I'm a father. Father should be recognized just like mother. Do you realize that mama carried these people in her womb for 9 months? And in most cases, they suckle mama's breast for months and months and months. You don't have that kind of connection. Men don't have that kind of connection with life. So why do you expect to get the same kind of recognition and love that mama get? Just understand your role and be happy in your damn role. No, You want to be a woman, and it's even gotten to the extreme, brother, that some of us, we want to be a woman. So you have guys out there that dress like women. They call themselves homosexual or gay because they actually want to be a woman. That's how mentally ill the male gender has become. They want the recognition of a woman. They want to be a woman so bad. We live in a very, very sick and unnatural world. And there's nothing, Islam, none of these religions have done nothing about it. Matter of fact, they made things worse. These religions, and I also include spirituality. Spirituality ain't no better than religion is. Ain't no better.
Yep. What time you're doing the show? In a little while, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping to do a Black Unity show, and I was hoping that you probably join us too on the panel.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, myself, you, and Brother Bakari.
Yes, sir. What time would this be?
Right now, I'm just waiting on Brother Bakari. He's making some money, so we ain't gonna interfere with that one. Money come first.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You know, when Brother Bakari get done getting his dollars, then we'll call and get together. I figure maybe 2 hours from now I will figure.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I wanted to have this conversation. Actually, I want to get together with you too. And you just take your time. I would like to have just an all holds barred interview with you. And I just want you to blast me. You are my worst critic. All the negativity, anything that you heard, I just want to have one of those interviews where you can just fire me up. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I want to live like that, and I want a question and answer period. I want to give these suckers a chance who want to get at me. I want to give them a chance. The troll, all trolls are invited. Bring your happy ass to this one.
That's right.
And bring it to me.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could.
Maybe we can do that next weekend.
Yeah, I got a couple brothers that that I think that might want to participate in.
I know they would.
Like that.
I'm very sure you could probably find more than a couple.
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so yeah,
people kill me.
Yeah, but definitely can make that happen. But upon closing, this topic, is there such thing as a God? And
the simple answer is no.
Yes, sir.
You don't even have to go around the world. I mean, because if there is a God, just prove it. Just simply prove it. It should be easy to prove. I can easily prove that there's a YouTube. Now, there are some idiots that will actually say, how do you know that there's a YouTube? Oh, man, get the hell out of here. Now you're just pure stupid.
Well, when I say this, is there a God? Because I'm talking about something, we say that the white man is the God here on earth.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about from a universal perspective. Like, I'm speaking upon greater beings, like the sun is a greater being. He's something that the white man cannot live without.
Yeah.
Like, if the white man is so powerful, he can go up and destroy the sun if the technology ever advances, and he'll wipe himself out.
Yeah.
There are certain things out here, in this universe that even the white man himself, has no control over. So,
he does.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that's the main. The way I look at it is, I just look at higher beings. Like I don't not in that sense of being.
I don't even like that word God really, because we take it really out of context. Because when we do think about God, we're thinking about some super being.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even like using that word God at all, because we think about this super being and there's no evidence, no proof that this super being exists. And even if this super being do exist, clearly this supernatural being don't give a damn about us, because it don't stop nothing. I mean, as we're speaking, like I told you, there's a child being molested right now as we speak. There's people starving. There's people getting blown up by a bomb right now, and this supernatural being ain't doing nothing, ain't done a damn thing about it. Like, so what? And like I say, even if this God exists, in a court of law, the evidence could exist. But if you don't show that evidence where everybody can see it and understand it, as far as the court is concerned, it don't exist. Even though it do exist. You left the evidence home, you know, whatever. You knew you was court, like they said, like I heard a judge say, you knew you was coming to court, you knew you weren't going to the beach. Why you left the evidence at home? So since the evidence, since the evidence is not here, even though it does exist, as far as we're concerned, it don't exist because it's not here. So if your God exists, you're not really bringing the evidence, because whatever you bring, it should be clear, convincing, and overwhelming. There's no doubt, like, damn, that's God. That's that God person. Look, everybody can see it. But the only one who can see this God, feel this God, is you. That ain't how things work. That's why it's called belief. That's why it's called belief. Because you're the only one that's able to see the pink elephant.
Upon closing, what would you like to say to all the Black Christians out here that are in church or just getting out of church? And I mean, is there some message that you would like to leave with them, you know, these religious, you know, Black religious folks?
Well, my main thing, which they're not going to do it, but they force these beliefs on children. See, I don't care what you believe, me personally. I don't care what you believe. You can believe you Donald Duck if you want to. I could care less. But when we step over the line and we're forcing these beliefs on children, to me, that should be a crime. That's child abuse, because these children don't know. They don't know. Like I was a child, and this stuff was taught to me, and I really believed it. Then I found out it's not true. It's not real. That's not right. You shouldn't do children like that. Let them get of some age to the point where they can decipher, so they can figure out whether or not this is something that they can believe, because it's a belief. It's not real. If it was natural, you don't have to teach them nothing. But you're forcing this stuff on your children before they can even think. So you show you wrong in that. And as long as you're doing that, I have the right to speak out and let them know, once they get of age, you was taught a lie. And that's what I'm going to do. And when I tell them they was taught a lie, you can't prove that I'm a liar. I want you to prove that I'm a liar. You can't. You can't. There's a reason why it's called belief. Belief requires no common sense, no logic, no reason, no evidence. It's just a story that somebody tell you and you believe it. And you know, it reminds me of being, you know, religion reminds me of a person who's a hypochondriac act. Because you know, a hypochondriac person is somebody who believes they are sick, but they're not. The sickness is in their imagination. But in their mind, they're really sick. They having symptoms. I'm sick. And so when a doctor knows that this is that they are imagining their sickness, the doctor gives them fake medicine. You know, gives them a pseudo medicine. It's not real medicine. And that's the way it is in God, with this God. They believe it so much, they really think that it's real. And in their mind, God, all this stuff, their spirituality, spirits and demons and ghosts, all that stuff is real. But clearly it's not. Because time, and we see, this God has done nothing for nobody. Clearly, for nobody. There's no evidence, even though they give God the credit, there's no evidence that this supernatural being has done anything for anybody. There's nothing. There's nothing to show that. Nobody. If you don't do something, it won't get done. If somebody else don't do it for you, it won't get done. This God does not do nothing for nobody. So that's all I want to say on that. You should be ashamed to be forcing this stuff on children. You should be.
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, I appreciate you definitely, speaking on this subject real quick. On that note, man, we're out of here, and
It's
we
all
looking forward.
y'all.
Yeah, everybody out here, please go subscribe to Operation Exodus Mississippi on YouTube and the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry.
Sure.
Definitely, everybody in the listening audience, subscribe. But on that note, we're going to be out of here. Be on the lookout because, we'll be back in a couple hours.
Yes, sir.
On Brother Taalik's channel. So on that note, peace and love.